listen to Chris Jones. First of all, when I think I told this story when we got back from Kansas City, I was walking in with Rabel, and he was walking through. We kind of had to move to the side because their players were coming out. Chris Jones looks like a giant, like a monster. I mean, he's got his helmet on and his cleats, so he's a couple 3 inches taller. But I'm like, and you remember what we said? We talked to I brought this up with Bump and Stacy that we were talking to Mark Schlereth about J.J. Watt and how good he is, and what he said was he could whoop anybody, line him up over the center, line him up over the guard, line him up over the tackle, and that's kind of what Chris Jones did. That last sack he got was coming off the edge, which usually, he lives in the middle, but I feel like he beat everybody on that team at least once and, had just a great game. So, yeah, that's one of those things that when you watch the playoffs, thinking back with the Seahawks, like what could they most use? What are they missing? That, to me, was pretty clear. I mentioned Reeder, who's the guy, number 98 on the Bengals, that was 347. He was a captain. He's been there a while, but 347 pounds and can just move. That became obvious that that's probably job one right there for John Schneider, whether it's in free agency or in the draft.
Well, and you also look at Hassan Reddick in the game against the 49ers was a huge problem. He had 2 sacks. He forced the fumble, knocked Purdy out of the game, fumble recovery. I mean, he was a major problem. So
when they were trying to block him with a tight end one time, and then the other time
they got him hurt.
They didn't block him at all.
Yeah, that was the one who was out there on him? Whoever it was whiffed. You just saw them kind of fall as he ran past him like, dude, what are you doing? You just
the right tackle.
I would imagine that guy was getting lit up by the coaches, or will be, when you're looking at it. So not only did you screw up, our quarterback got knocked out. Now he's got a torn UCL. He's going to be out for 6 months because you didn't do your job.
Yeah, I think it was McGlinchey.
Was it? Because I thought it was a tight end, not Kittle though. I thought it was somebody else that looked like they were just falling.
The play where he got hurt, I want to say nobody blocked him, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But yeah, McGlinchey I think got beat one time, and he's one of their better linemen. I mean, So yeah, Hassan Reddick. I mean, he wasn't like that. He wasn't that kind of player in Arizona. And, a little bit, but man, he had 16 sacks coming into the game.
Did you, in watching those games, did you have defensive tackle envy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Well, we texted in to the Bank of Jacks hotline, text line, 866-979-3776. If that's what jumped out to you, it did to me. And every year, you kind of look and, the Seahawks were good. They made the playoffs. It's not like they're just awful, but I felt like that was maybe a position where it showed up a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you watch just how disruptive they are. And again, you're talking about elite. Chris Jones is up for Defensive Player of the Year. He's not just your run-of-the-mill guy. No, just go get one. Yeah, go get yourself a defensive tackle. He'll be just like him. It's just you're looking for a special player. And with a top 5 pick, hopefully you're able to identify one of those players if you use that pick. I'm still convinced they'll trade back just because that's what John does, and I think that's exciting for him to get to come up with multiple picks. But we'll see if there's somebody they feel like is a difference maker in that role, or maybe they do go edge rusher. We were talking about the kid out of Texas Tech, so we'll see what they do with it, and that's going to make the draft incredibly fun this year. But man, it was hard not to look at both, those lines with the Eagles and with Kansas City and the 49ers even go, Seahawks don't stack up. Sorry, they don't. There's nobody on the Seahawks line, and that includes Al Woods that I think would probably start for any of those 3 teams.